Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP. Welcome to That's the Shoot. Our weekly episode show. We'll talk about what's going on in the world of professional wrestling. Today, it is the NXT predictions for Halloween Havoc. So, let's go ahead and let's just jump right into it. The first one is Kalani Jordan defending her North American Women's Championship against a member of Fair Influence, be Fallon Henley, JC Jane, or Jasmine Nix. Last night on NXT, it was the spinner's choice, but we did not find out what choice of the match and who's going to be the opponent because the debut of Zarya appeared. So we have to wait and see for that one. But I think this one is clear. I think they're going to continue on with the Kalani Jordan run here. I think they're going to do this. I don't know if they're, the Fatal Influence makes sense to give one of them a championship and maybe have the other two, go into this new thing where it seems like they're having all of the women fight for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships for some reason. I have no idea why, but I think Kalani Jordan is still the person to do it. So I would say Kalani Jordan, no matter who is the opponent and what time, whatever the match is, I think she'll find a way to win and retain her North American Championship. Next, in an ambulance match, Andre Chase takes on Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland has been on a tear since he turned on the boys from Chase U, putting Andrew Chase in a hospital, taking out Duke Hudson and Riley Leonard, Riley Leonard's the quarterback for Notre Dame, Riley Summer, and it's just made Thea Hale so distraught. I wasn't a big fan of this because to me, Chase U should have been somewhere, a place where you would go to reform yourself. And at least that's what I thought. But when I talked it out, JC Jane, because Duke Hudson went there and they thought Duke was going to turn on Chase, and he never did. JC Jane was a part of Chase U for a little bit, but she did find her way out and kind of turned on Thea Hale. So maybe it shouldn't be a place to do it, but I think actually that would be a better place. It should. You learn the values of wrestling from Chase U. Like I would think, like they're doing this thing now with Lexis King. I would put Lexis King in Chase U and have him learn from that. And he wants to be. He doesn't want to be his father. Okay, well, go to Chase U and learn how to be your own man. But anyway, when it comes down to this match, it's one of those things where, yeah, you want Ridge Holland, you want Andrew Chase to make it real, but the only way I see that happening is if Riley and Duke comes back as well, because the ambulance match they can do that, no disqualifications, no countouts. So, am I going to talk myself into taking Andre Chase? See, and there's always there is a thing where they can have Rich Holland win and still have the other two come back, take him down, and then throw Ridge into the ambulance match. So whether he runs, he's the one that still rides off in the ambulance. Boy, I just don't know. I guess I'll say Andre Chase. I'll pick Andre Chase here, but I don't know. To me, it seems like Ridge Holland is just the most evil thing. And let's see if this ambulance match can outdo the one that happened a few years ago with Damon Kemp versus Julius Creed. That was a tremendous match. So let's see if this one can outdo that. So yeah, I was gonna pick Ridge Holland, but I decided to change my mind and go with Andre Chase. Next is a tag match. Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade taking on Stephanie Vaquer and Julia. Listen, you guys have known me. I've talked about the Roxanne Perez stuff before. I just don't feel it. It's, you know, it would make sense if they booked her a different way, but they're like booking her as if she's like this winner, and it's just, Jesus Christ, it makes no sense. So I think you can go one or two ways here, right? One, you can also give the winner to Stephanie and Julia. They could win. And then you could have them wrestle for a match to see who's the number one contender for that. Or you could have it to where, like, Cora Jade kind of screws up and, you know, gets on the you know, thing, and then we have a fatal four-way. There's a part of me that thinks that's what this is leading up to. This is leading up to a fatal four-way. Maybe more than likely at deadline. But, you know, we also could be headway to having them be the, like, to see who, you know, have them be in the, you know, gold standard match, whatever they call it anymore. So there's a lot of things here to go with. Let's see. Could they have a premium live event where all the baby faces win? Makes you think that's what, like, that Andre Chase and Kalani Jordan thing, that could be anything. So yeah, I don't know. Listen, they've already beaten Julia, so they'll just beat her again. I would say Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade wins this. I am not certain about these three picks I've just done. This is gonna be one of my worst ones. I think I wouldn't be surprised if I don't get one or two right. And I think that I'm gonna get these two coming up. I think I'm gonna get right, but boy. So Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade, I'm picking to win the tag match. Next, in a tables, ladders, and scares match, it is Tony D'Angelo defending the North American Championship against Oba Femi. Last night on NXT, Oba Femi destroyed Stax and Luca Crucifino, leaving the Don alone, like he said, to only face Oba Femi. So this is a match. So you don't have to pin him or anything like that. And this actually, I would maybe say, this is actually maybe what I would have done. Maybe what I would have done is maybe I would have done something like a double count out on the St. Louis NXT. So that, you know, because there was no, like, they each beat each other up so bad, so now that they have to do this. And this way, you could have given Oba his first loss without him getting pinned. Because I will say, there was some talk about Oba Femi getting pinned the way he did, roll it up. Should he have been rolled up and you know, pinned? If you're going to beat Oba Femi, shouldn't you beat him, like, decisively with a pin or making him submit? And I understand that, and I almost kind of agree with that. And then again, they could have waited to do this here and let Tony get this victory. Where you could have said he's been unpinned, he has never submitted. His only loss was a tables, ladders, and scares match. So, but yeah, I don't think. Well, I don't think. But listen, they just did it on the main roster where they gave Jey Uso a championship. And they did. I don't even. That's my water. I don't have my water. Didn't drink water. God damn it. Okay, well they just had Jey Uso do it. Where they gave Jey Uso the kind of championship, and then took it away so that he can go into the bloodline stuff. So, which I disagree with. So they could do it here. It wouldn't make no sense, but they could do it here. To me, and maybe that's what they do. Maybe that's the thing to do, right? You do this. Tony Danza wins. You put Obafemi in that scramble match, and then he can take it off of Trick Williams, like in January, and then him and Trick has a rematch at Stand and Deliver for the NXT title. So I think there you have it. But I'm going to say Tony D'Angelo wins the Tables, Ladders, and Scares match and retains the North American title men's edition. And finally, in a Devil's Playground match, Trick Williams defends his NXT championship against All Ego Ethan Page. Now last night, Ethan Page did a promo which has me a little bit worried. He talked about, what Trick hasn't gone through, the stuff that he hasn't gone through, and he talked about how he's never been busted open, and about how he never had the taste of the blood and the sweat, in his mouth, and things like that. And here's the thing, I, without question, do not want WWE to become AEW, where it's just blood. I don't want them to be what they were, in the mid 2000s and things like that, where every week somebody was bleeding, and every, I think I've talked about this several times on these shows, but I mentioned it, where there was a Brock Lesnar thing, and it still may be on the Peacock, but there was a Brock Lesnar thing that they did on Brock Lesnar, where they went through Brock Lesnar's 2023, right? They went through his 2023 year before he left in 2003, in 2003, before he left in 2004, and every week somebody was busted open. If it wasn't Brock, he busted somebody open. He split wide open. Zach Gallen, and I don't want WWE to get like that. We just had a horrific Bad Blood where looks like Punk was busted open. That was on purpose, and what I thought was on purpose actually wasn't. I guess the corner of the toolbox split the hell out of Drew McIntyre's head open. I guess he wasn't supposed to bleed, or if he was supposed to bleed maybe later on and not bleed that much, or something like that, whatever. But he just came off of that, and that's something that I think is what it is. Like, if I've said this many times on the program, if you're going to use blood, use it sparingly. Use it sparingly. Once, maybe twice a year. Right? Once, maybe twice a year. Use it. And, I think the themes we saw this year with the blood, I'm not sure. Cody getting busted open by The Rock. I think the way they cut from it made you think that it was a blade job. Same thing with the I Quit match. They cut from Cody and AJ, and but at least in that match, it wasn't too much. So I was calling it the prick job, where they really didn't do the thing where they stuck it in and ripped, right? Which is what you're kind of taught to do, at least correctly taught to do. Some people, I saw Maven talking about how he did. He thought he stick it in, twist and rip. I don't think you're supposed to turn, twist, and rip. I think and then there's a clip from a couple years ago during the first All in England thing, where Punk was under the thing, just stabbing himself in the forehead. I don't think that's it either. Anyway, forget how you're supposed to do it. But I just think you're supposed to use it sparingly, or use fake stuff, which I think, I think when Kevin Owens was bleeding from the attack from the bloodline, I think that was fake. I think, CM Punk getting, bleeding from when they was in Chicago on SmackDown, and Drew was there. I think that was, I think that was fake. There's been some hard way stuff. I think CM Punk hard way got busted open in that thing match. I think Cody got hardly busted open in the cage match with things. So it's been around this year, but I think in certain ways it hasn't been an overuse, oversaturation. My fear is this: it's coming off of Bad Blood to now do this Devil's Playground match where Trick and possibly Ethan both could be in that situation where they're doing blade jobs and they or whatever, and they could be busted open. I think you could again starting to oversaturate it. We went many years without there being blood, and while I was always for the case where when someone was busted open the hard way, that was a lot different than someone doing a gig, gigging themselves, and I just think it's a totally different thing. So I'm gonna feel for we're gonna see that Sunday. As for the match, I do think one of the other thing, whether they do blood or not, I think one of the things they talked about was how Trick has simply not earned, he's not earned like his stripes, something like that. He has not earned his stripes, and Ethan's going to make him pay his dues, like in this match, kind of. Well, he's going to be, beat with chairs and things like that. He's going to be beating. He's going to pay the price of a lifetime, as Ric Flair would say. So I do like that, because I do think that is something that I think Trick does need. Trick, just whoop that Trick, what, whoop that Trick, what. I think Trick and Jey Uso, almost to a certain extent, are almost kind of like in that sort of same way, because they're extremely over with the crowd. But there is a pocket of the audience that doesn't think that they deserve it. That they're only over because you got that whoop that Trick chant, and then you've got the yeet with Jey Uso. That those are the only reasons why they are over, not because of what they can actually do in the ring. And I would disagree. Trick Williams is still very green, and he's only going to get better. Jey Uso is a darn good worker. But it's one of those things where he doesn't need to do all those things. He's that he maybe done in the past, whatever. So we have to wait and see. I think this is definitely Trick. I don't think they're gonna the hot potato of the title between these two. I do see Trick, and again, like I said, I think Trick is gonna be a champion. I think Trick is gonna hold the championship either until the January/February Premium Live event, where I think he would probably lose it to Oba, or he would lose it at Stand and Deliver to Oba. So I think he's going to be the champ, continue to be champion. So I'm predicting Trick Williams retains the North American Championship, not the North American, the NXT Championship. All right, so to recap. Let's bring it back up for me. Kalani Jordan is going to defeat a member of Fatal Influence in whatever kind of match they're going to choose to retain her Women's North American Championship. Andre Chase is going to win the Endless match against Rich Holland. Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade will defeat Julia and Stephanie Vicari in a tag team match. Tony D'Angelo will beat Obafemi and retain his North American Men's Championship in a table ladders and scares match, and Trick Williams will overcome the obstacles. Ethan Page puts in front of him and retain the NXT Championship in a Devil's Playground match. Whew. And again, I am so uncertain about, Roxanne Perez, my choices for Roxanne and Cora, choice of Andre Chase, my choices for Kalani Jordan. I'm so unsure about that. I think the last two, Tony and Trick, I think I have those correct. So we'll have to wait and see. But if you want to really find out how I do, come back after Thursday night, and my reaction for NXT Halloween Havoc 2024 will be live. Make sure you click the notification bell so that when I do go live, you can join in the fun and we can talk about what went down on NXT. Post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Give me your predictions for NXT Halloween Havoc. Let me know what you think about my predictions of NXT Halloween Havoc. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy, AJTRIP, signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.